Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to the channel. Appreciate you stopping by if it's your first time as well. So, I wanted to show you some recent acquisitions. Most of them were from a knife show I attended. Always good to go when you can. Sometimes you see decent vendors, other times it's a mishmash, but this was a pretty good show overall. And let's just start on these one by one. I'm going to try to... This I actually bought at a retail store. Get this one out of the way first. This is a Helle, or Helle. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but they're from Norway. They've been around for years and years and years and make beautiful handcrafted knives. I'm sure a lot of it has become mechanized over the last few years, but this one was made for LL Bean for their 2023 season. It is one of 300, if you can see that. 2023 Collector's Edition. Nothing unbelievably distinct about this. I love the handle. There's a curly birch handle, and this has a rat tail tang, which means it goes all the way through to here, but that also means it's made to do chores, but not be beat on and batoning. And you can baton with it, I'm sure. You just have to be careful. So this is really, again, a work of art. Fits in the hand beautifully. And I've taken out in the woods and messed around with it, and the Scandinavian grind is really good for working with wood, and comes with a nice leather sheath, which fits good. Doesn't want to come out, so that's a good thing. Okay, so Helle from Norway, great company. Okay, let's talk about this one. This is from this company, Spartan Blades. They're elite grade. They really make high quality blades with titanium, and this is an S45VN blade that you'll see in a minute, but they are using Magna Cut now. This is from 2021. So this was kind of a new in box. I don't think it was brand new, but nothing crazy. It comes in a simple box like this, and you get a decal with it, which is nice. Not that I put it... Oh, and by the way, knives with intent. That's their motto, their credo, which you'll see in a minute is true. These things are made to perform. So you get a nice box, and this was, again, from 2021, because they do, every year they do, I think, 4 different designs. And they've got really cool designs, but this really spoke to me because it's called the Watchworks, if you didn't see that on the box already. But this is showing the different gears and parts that would go in a mechanical watch, and I'm into mechanical clocks and watches since I was very young. Always fascinated by them and how they worked and what it took to build them and put them together. But just look at the anodizing and the colors on this. That is just the topping on the cake. This has a piece here that goes in so that this clip can be moved to either side. Left hand, right hand. It's tip-up carry only. I myself am really not a fan of pocket clips because I kind of feel that I hear a lot of stories of people saying, oh, my clip got snagged on something when I was out working or out in the woods and I lost my knife. So unless I'm going to be using it a lot, I just keep it in my pocket. This also has engraved into it, time waits for no man. So beautiful blue color. I just love this blue. I don't know exactly what you'd call that blue, but it is beautiful to me. And again, the colors on things. So opens up beautifully. Is the made in the USA. That's another thing. This is all made in the USA. All USA sourced parts. If they didn't make it, they sourced it to a USA company. And the designer, if we can get that to show up, his name is William Harsey. There you go. I didn't know much about him, but he's very famous in the knife design making circles. He's quite prolific with his designs for the government and so on. And it's a frame lock, obviously, and just a super duper knife. This is big. This is about 9 inches long when you measure it out. So they make a smaller version of this with a 3 1/4 inch blade that is much more easy to carry on a regular basis. But I've carried this around a few times. It's not something I want to pull out too much when I'm going to cut a cupcake in half for somebody at work, but the smaller size is now on my list because these things are just really purposefully built and well built. There's a little glass breaker here so that if you had to get out of a car or break something or persuade something, that little nub there will protect your very pretty anodized titanium frame. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit more about watches for a second and show you why I like that so much. Here is a mechanical watch that was given to me by my father. It was a gift to him for his high school graduation from my grandfather. And this thing is from probably 1945, give or take. And it's 18 karat gold. It still runs beautifully, although it needs a really good service. And trying to find somebody that I, trust to actually do the work on this. This is nice. It has a chronograph. You got a stopwatch there. And this will keep track of the minutes up to like 30 minutes, I think, one of the sub-dials. And the outer rings that make it very special is you have a couple of graphs there, one of them being a telemeter. So you start the it's hard to explain. You start the pusher when you hear the noise or when you see the flash, and then when you hear the sound, you click it again, and it tells you how many kilometers away it is, I believe. So I'm not explaining it correct, but look up telemeter, and that'll explain it. And of course, you have here, it's going to go to number 1. There you go. You just saw that. Click to 1. Anyway, there's the brand, Sophia 17 Ruby 17 Jewels, which helps the watch run correctly, helps with friction. Let me stop that. Let me send it back. And if you look on this one, this must be a really good watch because right here, you can see it's starting to say 37 joules. So that's part of the reason. And one other mechanical watch I have is this old Waltham pocket watch. And again, this thing is old. Warmth of my hands is making it fog up a little bit, but you can see that it's still in great condition. I do carry this from time to time. When I dress up every once in a while in a tuxedo or suit, or I just feel like I want to wear something different. There's that. Never got it engraved. There's a nice spot for engraving there if I wanted to put an initial or something like that. But again, these will hopefully go on to my kids and be well used. Both my sons wore this watch on their wedding day, which I was very happy about. Okay, so, and just to let you know, usually this is my everyday watch, either a G-Shock or a Timex, Iron Man, or something like that, so nothing fancy. All right, and if you wanted to see, this is a very high-end watch company called IWC, International Watch Company, and that shows you some of their internal workings. Can't get the greatest picture, but you see a lot of work and time and very, very steady hands go into making these pieces and putting them together. Okay, enough about watches. Let's just say that this is much more durable than a mechanical watch. Just as pretty, though. All right, so that was that. Then we came upon a guy, actually the same guy that had this Spyderco Para 3 with the blurple scales. I hope you can see that color. And I don't know if it's going to really come out. Let me just light here a little bit. I love it. Purpley blue. Blurple. This is S110V, a steel that I don't have yet. And I love the Para 3. I've got a Para 3 lightweight in Spy 27 that has been great, great, great knife. And after looking up this one, I was happy to find out that the steel is great at holding an edge. It's pretty stain resistant and might be a little bit of a challenge to sharpen, but I like a challenge, and I do like sharpening my own knives by hand. Okay, so that was number 2. Again, common knife. Para 3's good. They've got the big clip on it, the spoon bill, whatever they call that. It works good. Again, I try not to use clips too much. Okay, the last item I got at the show, this was a super, super deal, super find. It came in this sheath, this pouch sheath, which is not a great quality. It's, probably a bonded leather, but it's done okay. I've been wearing it and trying to break it in a little bit, and hopefully it'll keep going. But I picked it up not knowing, and I said, "Oh, what's in here?" And the guy goes, "Oh, Swiss Army knife." Goes, "I'll give you a good deal on it." I said, "Oh, really? What kind of deal will you give me?" And he said, $25. And I said, "Okay," thinking to myself, wow, $25. This is, I thought at first that this was a Swiss champ, but it turns out it's just a champion. It does not have the pliers. It has everything but the pliers. And that makes it a champion, not a Swiss champ. And this is a current version because it has the parcel hook, which I don't have on my Swiss champ. You might have seen another video I did with that. This one is in like brand new condition, really. I mean, a tiny bit of wear. It has the pen, which I really get a kick out of pulling this out and using in front of people. They're like, "What's that?" And it's kind of cool. Have the little micro screwdriver that screws into the, if I could get it out, screws into the corkscrew that if you want to fix your glasses before the screw falls all the way out, that's a good thing. Or maybe use it as a little pick or something like that. Okay, it's got a bunch of other tools. And when I looked at it, I said, wow. And I saw, okay, it says Victorinox on it. It says Officer Suisse. So I knew it was real. And again, in really good condition. So I said, how can I say no to $20 for a knife like this? $25 for a knife like this. But in the spirit of negotiation, I said, would you take 20 cash? And he frowned and said, yeah, okay, no problem. He goes, it's got more tools than the real one. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, oh, that's like a really good imitation. And I said, all right, if you say so. But I think the poor guy made a mistake. And I wasn't going to point it out to him because, I'm sure that, not him, but I'm sure other people have told me things that weren't 100% accurate when I've bought. So I said I'm taking advantage of it. And again, really nice. This ruler on here is dead accurate. This is 3 inches from the very end here to this little end here. That's exactly 3 inches. And on this side, you've got 7 centimeters. See if I can get that up there for you. And again, it is dead on when I hold it up against my metal rulers. So you got to love that. Scissors are good. There's a nice saw. I just showed you that. And what I always like is the file. You've got a file, a fine and a rough side. This is a perfect nail cleaner, or if you got to get in anywhere, which is good. And then there's even a little metal saw on the bottom of this. You can see those teeth. So there you go. And again, I'll use this or keep it in my car and have it handy. And between this and a small pair of pliers, like those Knipex pliers, I don't have a pair handy. I actually keep them in my car, but you can do just about anything. So there you go. A few things I picked up. Oh, I did happen to come across this too. This is the 2024 Spartan Blades Knives with Intent catalog. Oops, let me go a little slower. They have a few different series, Elite Grade, Pro, Field. That knife is an Elite Grade. And it shows you all the awards they've won. Rightly so. They're, again, a really good company. See, here's the designs for the 2024 or 2023 year. Beautiful engraving. It's all titanium. The handles are anyway. A lot of the parts are. And as you can see, $465, $415 for the plain Jane. And when you get into these, they're like these start at $550. So I did not pay anywhere near that. I got, like I said, I got a very good deal. And you got to look around. And I'd recommend holding any of these knives if you can. It's great to always hold it first. Okay, so there's that stuff. But this one, especially, this jimping right here and on the blade, it is going to test a tender thumb. I think it's better if you're using this with gloved hands, and I think that's what it's made for. These finger grooves and these little choils here, if you'd call it that, you can see your hand falls in. At least mine does, but everybody I've seen talk about this, it is very comfortable in the hand. And however you're going to hold it, it just follows a nice natural. The clip does not dig into your hand at all. But the only thing I would say for me, but I'm not really hard using it, but I would like to feel a little less. They're not sharp. They just have square edges that you can feel. So, not that again, I don't have like really calloused over hands or anything like that. But and I have used this with a pair of canvas leather gloves on. Held fine, beautiful. Could operate everything, no problem. Failed that one. Get in there for the thumb stud, and worked out great. You can even reverse flick it if you like, just like a Spidey. Oh, the weight. This thing's like 6 ounces. And when I said, oh man, 6 ounces, that's heavy compared to something like this, it's like 3 ounces, I don't know. But someone pointed out, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm only saying what I heard, a buck 110 is like 6 ounces. And people carry buck 110s since the 50s or the 60s or whenever they started coming up. Okay, 20 minutes, man. I'm sorry I do the gab thing. All right. Hope you like this. Hope you got something out of it and that you find something that you really like. One last thing. The warranty on these knives is spectacular from what I've heard. People have said, oh, I had this problem, I had that problem. They send it down to the place in North Carolina, and within days, the knife is taken care of. It's fixed. It's back to as good as new. They'll sharpen the knife for you again if you want. And no charge. You pay to get it down there. And I don't know if you have to pay to get it back, but I've just heard nothing but fantastic things about the customer service at Spartan in this day and age of getting ghosted by some places that sell you a knife and you just want to get service done. Okay, all right. Let me just say one other thing. One other thing a lot of people have said is that this knife does not have a sharpening choil here at the end. It comes down, it's sharpened, and then the very last, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or so is a false edge. Right here, basically, right? You can see the grind there, too. If I can, that's not really good, but